WVEC TV, Hampton.
This is Jim Kincaid, ABC News.
Center is run from a small room in the rear of the Bayside Christian Church, offers a variety of programs, and represents an alternative to what has become a national shame, shutting our elderly off in a nursing home.
For one thing, it keeps them active in the community rather than becoming institutionalized. The elderly people that attend the daycare center can live with their families in their homes, be a part of the family as well as a part of the community.
This is one of 3 such nonprofit centers in Tidewater. This one will celebrate its 3rd anniversary in July. Right now, 9 people are enrolled, enjoying themselves, each other, and the varied programs. Activities are designed to keep their minds and their bodies active.
That's enough.
You want me to do this?
Oh, yeah!
Come to you.
How do you feel right now?
Oh, I'm very happy and very pleased and quite excited about what we're going to do with Barish.
You don't feel poor?
Don't feel poor? Well, a little bit poorer, but we'll make it up another way.
And where does the money go? Into the pocket of this man, Herb Cashvan. How much does Cashvan expect to make?
About $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000. I don't know. There's no way of knowing with these horses. You really never can tell.
Good evening, I'm John Miller. We'll have those stories and more, including the results of the Mensa test we gave you last week. But first, a look at a unique program for the elderly in Virginia Beach when Focus returns in 1 minute.
Focus is brought to you in part by the Daily Press and Times-Herald, serving the peninsula and other great communities.
Over the years, many stories have been done on how bad conditions are for the elderly. Well, we have found a program that's anything but bad. In Virginia Beach, senior citizens can spend a fun-filled day at a daycare center, an alternative to nursing home care for the elderly.
The beginning of another day. For most of us, that means another 8 hours at work. For some, another day at school. But for many of Tidewater's elderly, it means another lonely day. That horrible time between waking and sleeping when it seems much of the world doesn't care. Children are indifferent, and excitement is switching channels. But for these senior citizens, the story is much different. The new day brings new challenges, new friends, and reflections on past experiences. These people are entering the Center of Leisure Activities for Older Adults, a daycare center for the elderly in Virginia Beach.
How you doing?
The center is run from a small room in the rear of the Bayside Christian Church, offers a variety of programs, and represents an alternative to what has become a national shame, shutting our elderly off in a nursing home.
For one thing, it keeps them active in the community rather than becoming institutionalized. The elderly people that attend the daycare center can live with their families in their homes, be a part of the family as well as a part of the community.
This is one of 3 such nonprofit centers in Tidewater. This one will celebrate its 3rd anniversary in July. Right now, 9 people are enrolled, enjoying themselves, each other, and the varied programs. Activities are designed to keep their minds and their bodies active.
Hands and hips, on your hips. Okay, we do the bend, the sidewise bending. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The cost is based on a sliding scale. Depending on income, it ranges from $2 to $10 a day. And for those who are income eligible, Title 20 will pay for the daycare through the Social Services Department of Virginia Beach. The center also gets operational and matching funds from CVAMP, the Southeastern Virginia Area-Wide Model Program. And finally, the center receives contributions and donations from private citizens and organizations.
Pass the sugar. You want me to cut that, or you can they? She pass the sugar.
I can wait on myself.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
In addition to the activities and field trips, the center provides a hot lunch through the stop kitchens. The price of the meal, some of which are specially prepared if a senior citizen is on a diet, is included in the fee. The food must be good, there is little talking at the table, and all of the senior citizens finish their lunch because the afternoon is full of more activities. After lunch, the group goes on their daily constitutional, a 30-minute walk around the grounds, and they're immediately greeted by one of their neighbors, something they probably wouldn't see if they were institutionalized. On their way to more discoveries, you realize one of the joys of age, saying exactly what's on your mind.
Stick out my tongue.
What is happening here is the development of a second family. These 9 people live at home with their children, but during the day, they visit with their second family and outwardly show signs of affection. They love it. When was the last time you sang as you walked?
Yes, happy on the way. Bless the Lord, I'm happy on the way. Happy on the way. Happy on the way. Bless the Lord, I'm happy on the way.
You find an almost childlike quality. Things you and I take for granted are held in high esteem by the seniors, like the beauty of a flower.
No, they're not buttercups, but they're not gardenias. You can believe that. What about camellias? Would you believe camellias?
Camellia, yeah. A camellia.
I love that. There's more blossoms on it.
Aren't they lovely?
Last year, I gave my daughter a bunch of these, and she's got a tree almost as big.
What is it?
Holly. It's not hollyhock.
Sure it's holly.
Hollyberry.
Sure it's holly.
Yeah, hollyberries.
Holly.
Break a limb.
Yeah, I'll be careful, you get pricked though.
Holly wreaths and mistletoe, trees that twinkle in paper glow, hearts that beat with mirth and glee, Christmas Day is coming.
But don't get the idea the elderly just walk around and look at flowers. They are active and can play a mean game of frisbee.
Me in the head. Oh, I'm going to hit you back. She did, though, didn't she? Don't do it that way. Yeah, she hit me right there.
Do they enjoy it?
I think they do. We have a variety of programs. It's not only fun and entertaining, but at the same time it's very therapeutic for them to interact with others, to continue on to be social beings and things of that nature.
Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way to get there? Jesus.
Although the center is not associated with the church, religion plays an important role.
The elderly people, or people of this age, the social life that they had, I think, back when they were teenagers or their young adult life revolved quite a bit around the church. There weren't movies and dances and things to go to. A lot of the social activities they attended were involved in the church. And so I feel like religion is very deep-seated in the elderly people, and it's something that they want to continue on with. So we go ahead and we promote weekly devotions and sharing of ideas, Bible reading and things like that.
If you love me, you will obey my commandments. So what did he say? If you love me, he said, if you love me, you will obey my commandments.
The greatest thing the elderly have to contribute is their experience, the knowledge of years of life. And it's precisely that knowledge the center hopes to bring out.
This record's so old it only has one side. It's dated September 22nd, 1903.
Wow. I was 3 years old.
You were 3.
That's as old as me.
Vesta was born that year.
No, I'm one of 10, and we were all happy.
Shape.
You one of 10?
I'm the oldest of 10.
Good Lord.
Large
I don't think
family.
my parents knew where the kids came from.
The Victrola demonstration is a part of what we call reminiscent therapy and what some people term life review. By bringing artifacts, if you want to call them artifacts, of the past in. It stimulates some discussion. They remember back when they have similar experiences. Possibly they're not all good. So it's helpful at this time in their lives to have them work through their experiences. And they're at a time in their lives when they're taking stock of what they've done. Maybe they don't have that much more ahead in their life left. But they're at a critical time when they're looking over their life, reviewing it, and saying, well, this is what I've done. I'm not able to do much more, but I've got to come to terms with what I've done and be happy and satisfied. So it's all a process involved with that, the reminding of past things.
This is Caruso, 1903, and it's Dreams of Long Ago. Let's see what we got here.
They teach you a lot about life. I found an interesting comment in a book the other day that I was reading, and it said, if you're ever stranded on a desert island, you better make sure you have at least one old person there, because they're the ones who really know how to survive.
When you think of sports nowadays, you think of big salaries, multi-million-dollar contracts for the game's top players. But there's one sport that takes thousands and thousands of dollars just to get ready to compete, and the prize money but a fraction of the cost. Because when you enter a horse show, you're not horsing around.
Here comes into the ring now, Reese. Let's get him in here.
The Cash Van Arabian Horse Sale, held in Virginia Beach just a few weeks ago, complete with all the pomp and circumstance usually reserved for a head of state. If you think this is just another horse, consider this. This animal will earn more in 10 minutes of bidding than the Vice President of the United States makes in 3 years. But then horse people will tell you this horse can do more than the Vice President.
Thank you very much, Jerry, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have an auction sale. All right, what do we get for him? And $25,000 you starting. And we get 25 pounds, and let's go.
From all across America, people have come to this show to buy a horse, for stud, for show, for glamour. But if you're thinking of keeping up with the Joneses, remember, it takes money, and lots of it.
One more time, 90,000. 90,000, ma'am.
Hey, it's only money.
Hey, she's waiting in, Carl. Hold the fort. 90. Say yes.
$90,000.
Yeah!
I knew she would. I just didn't know what it would take to convince her. Now, 100.
Mrs. Peggy Huddleston of Sterling, Illinois, is ready to spend $90,000 on this horse. Most husbands get upset when their wives come home with a $60 dress, but horse people are different. They're moneyed.
I just want to say to you, sir, if you look at this from a business standpoint now, I don't think you could pay enough to make this horse a poor investment, and I'll tell you why. If you stand him to 20 mares a year at $1,000, $1,500, I think his fee has been $1,500, and he also gives you anywhere from 5 to 10 foals a year, you're going to pay for that horse at $100,000, at $150,000, you'll pay for him in 3 years. He can't be anything but a good investment. Well, $100,000.
Yeah!
Yes, it's nice. If it'll cease now. That's just enough. That's enough.
That's enough.
You want me to do this?
Oh, yeah!
Coming to you.
How do you feel right now?
Oh, I'm very happy and very pleased and quite excited about what we're going to do with Barish.
You don't feel poor?
Don't feel poor? Well, a little bit poorer, but we'll make it up another way.
And where does the money go? Into the pocket of this man, Herb Cashvan. How much does Cashvan expect to make?
about $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000. I don't know. There's no way of knowing with these horses. You really never can tell.
But you expect $500,000?
$500,000, yeah.
Is that normal? Is that a good day's take?
Well, it's fair for the Arabian market. It's nothing unusual, nothing spectacular, but it's fair. We have some outstanding horses in the sale, and it can go as high as $750. You know, last sale I went to and bought $750,000 in Scottsdale. So I'd love to match his sale.
All told, Cash Van sold 36 horses to make just under $500,000 in 4 hours of bidding. If they aren't sold for stud, many of them will wind up here, at one of hundreds of horse shows around the country, like this one held last month at Princess Anne Park in Virginia Beach.
Here in the next to try, number 78. Owned and shown by Dietrich Wolf.
It was the only A-rated show in Virginia this year, featured hundreds of horses and riders and $20,000 in prize money. But while the money sounds impressive, it isn't. Pam Brewster brought 6 horses from her family farm in Stonington, Connecticut, one of many shows she'll compete in. In this class, she took a third. Her take for the ride, $35.
In third, we have number 199, Lonesome Way, owned and shown by Pamela Brewster.
With hunters, if you can make the money, just make the money you've put out, you're lucky. That's the way I look at it. So if I can break even, I'm happy. And the horse that won the ribbons has won some more ribbons, so he's pretty well broken even. I mean, he's paid for his stall and his entries and shipping.
She has been fairly successful. No first-place ribbons, but several seconds and thirds and so on down the line. But to make the prize money, you have to spend money. Spend, like the old saying goes, like a drunken sailor.
To get on top, you have to have money in order to back you to get the good horses.
How much are we talking about?
Oh, my God. Jumpers, if you're going to buy a made jumper, can run you into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're going to buy a young jumper, you could spend maybe 20 to 30,000.
And in addition to the horses, you have thousands of dollars tied up in saddles, equipment.
Oh, that's right, and trailers and vans and everything it takes to go with the horses. Nobody realizes the fee it costs when you're on the road. It's exorbitant. You know, when you figure it's $4.50 a bale of straw and you need several bales of straw in every stall, it really adds up.
Is this the kind of sport anybody can do, or do you really have to be filthy rich?
Oh, I would imagine most people. That's a difficult question, because if you have a talent and you get involved with horses, even if you don't have money, you can get some backers for you. But if you don't have that natural talent, like Melanie or somebody, and you have to work at it, it's much harder for those people. I mean, it's much, much harder. It's either a natural talent or a financial backing.
And if you don't have the financial backing?
Then you better hope you have a natural talent. No, it's an exorbitantly expensive sport. You know, it's more expensive than I think most any other sport you could probably think of, even yachting.
Hey, check your curb right on the end there and loosen it a little.
It takes not only money, but hard work to become an outstanding rider. Pam trains every day under the watchful eye of Melanie Smith, internationally known rider and trainer.
Joni? Keep that in there. Okay, now gallop down and gallop back up again, and look for it off a little steady stride.
The two are married by necessity. Pam has the money, but not the natural talent. Melanie, the natural talent, but no money. Together they go to shows and hopefully make it worthwhile when they review the bottom line. But even international riders don't always land in the pot of gold.
Here, you want Willie's check?
Oh, thank you. How nice.
Money.
Did you see what you won, Willie? $9.38. That was a 7-way tie for 6th.
Smith did redeem herself in the open jumping class, riding Sumatra. The U.S. equestrian rider tied for first and was forced to compete in a jump-off to determine who would ride away with the $500 first prize. But for Melanie and Sumatra, the day was not to be theirs. First place went to a man from Tennessee, who took equal time around the course in less than 25 seconds without a fault. While losing the blue ribbon was disappointing, it was equally disheartening to see the $500 land in the pocket of Bruce Haynes. And Sumatra, who cost $75,000, won just $350, about half of what his saddle costs. If you're beginning to think showing horses is costly, you're right. If it comes down to a decision to buy your child a horse or a car, take the car. It's much cheaper. It's not just the horse, it's the saddle, the bridle, the stirrups, feed, boarding, and even the cost for someone to braid the mane that adds up. No wonder people think horse owners have money to burn, and many do. Scott Griswold is an artist that makes his living from horse shows. Working just a few months each year, he visits the major shows and paints portraits of horse and rider. And he's anything but cheap. This portrait goes for $350.
We've sold paintings to people and didn't even ask the price. You know, I don't buy things that way. And they said, oh, well, that's all right, whatever it is. And we wouldn't be able to, this wouldn't be profitable if these people did not have the money. Because the number of people that you sell to in a show of this size, maybe you sell 10 orders. You see, that's not big in number, but it's a considerable amount of money. And yet, these people don't seem to bat an eye, you know. When you pay $400 or $500 or $600 for a saddle, and you're paying for feed and all this, and some people fly their horses from California to the east. Now, money is not too much of an object with them.
But despite having the best horses money can buy, there are times when it just doesn't seem worth it. A $100,000 horse, thousands of dollars worth of gear, a top-notch rider, none of it seems enough. Because some days, even all the king's horses can't win.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, baby, darling, you're the
Last week we gave you a test to see if you were qualified to join Mensa, the High IQ Society. Tonight we have the results, so if you have your test handy, get ready and mark the correct answers. The first answer, egg is to ovoid as Earth is to spheroid. The next term in the series is 49. The two words with the same relation as floor and support, the answer is window and view. The missing number is 240. The one that does not belong is picture C in the upper right-hand corner. The two words with the nearly opposite meaning relate and disconnect. The answer to this question is C. Some members have redeeming qualities. Green is to yellow as orange is to D yellow. Mountain is to land as whirlpool is to C sea. This answer is A. The two words with similar meanings, blessing and benediction. The two words whose meanings do not belong with the others, arrow and dart. The next number in this series is 33. The answer to this question is C. Don't accept less than your best. Which of the boxes on the top row completes the series on the bottom row? The answer is C. Potential is to actual as future is to present. The two words with nearly opposite meanings, intense and diffuse. Needle is to thread as leader is to follower. And finally, D and E, the last two shapes represent the mirror images of the same shape. Give yourself a point for taking the test, a point for each correct answer, 4 points if you finished the test in less than 10 minutes, 3 if you finished in less than 15, 2 if you were done in 20 minutes or less. If you scored 20 to 24 points, you're a perfect Mensa candidate. 15 to 19 points puts you in the upper percent of the population, certainly a Mensa candidate, and 10 to 14 points is an honorable score.
Focus has been brought to you in part by the Daily Press and Times Herald, serving the peninsula and other great communities.
Looking at the mail we received about our broadcast last week on Senator William Scott's travels, a viewer wrote, "I thought the program was food for thought, especially as I was preparing my income tax form." And about our story on the Mensa test, several viewers complained they had to wait a week for the answers. Next week, we'll look at Congressman G. William Whitehurst's PR machine and a way thousands are saving millions on their taxes. I'm John Miller.